Hello and welcome to an overview of the Meta platforms, specifically today for Instagram. This is going to be a couple part series on how Instagram operates as a social media network, but then also at the end we're gonna connect everything back to earlier videos that I had on Facebook and how that started the whole discussion about Meta, how the business began, and we're going to look forward. How can we utilize these predictable actions that this behemoth corporation has taken into kind of anticipating what's coming up in the social media world? So, um, unlike Facebook, I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to actually start with Instagram. So, Instagram today, it's all the way up to being the second largest social network. It began way back in, I believe it was 2011 or 2012, and it was just a photo sharing app. And the idea was you could post a series of photos with various filters without having any Photoshop experience. Now, you couldn't do very much. You could change the hue and the saturation and the various uh, color warmth, but that was about it. There wasn't a ton that you could do if you think about today. I look at Instagram as really the precursor to Canva because Canva came around later and really kind of took the graphic design without Photoshop and sent it to the moon. But within a couple of years, Instagram exploded. It was one of the bigger social networks. Um, and then Facebook came around and bought it for $1 billion. $1 billion. After I think that was 2012, and then it was funny because around the same time, Facebook offered to buy Snapchat for the same, and Snapchat turned it down. So I mean, you can see where these have gone over the years. Snapchat isn't completely irrelevant, but it's certainly not what Instagram is today. Um, we are at a point here where Instagram is approaching Facebook in terms of kind of not, I wouldn't say performance, but in terms of active use. Um, it's pretty fascinating because the growth rate of Instagram over the years has been far greater than Facebook. You know, Facebook has many years on Instagram, and Facebook was originally the parent company, but now they really work side by side. So, um, you know, Facebook and Instagram face the same challenge with companies in that businesses are there, 200 million of them, but they really struggle to figure it out from an organic point of view. Advertising wise, paid media wise, it's great. Companies have figured that out, got it down to a science, but organically, there are some issues that will be a part of this discussion. But every day, there are 100 million photos uploaded to Instagram. That number has kind of remained stagnant over the years, last couple of years, because of the greater reliance on Reels. We'll look at the different types of posts here momentarily. In terms of why people use Instagram, it's a little different than Facebook. Facebook is really just the place to check in on your long lost friends. It's kind of like a class reunion of sorts. Instagram's a little different. Number one is staying up to date with friends, but there are larger buckets of reasons why people are on Instagram. Um, Social media recently has become, you may have seen this, the number one news source for younger adults over traditional sources like the news or even news websites. And you see people going to social media and looking for commentary from their trusted sources and not people that are on TV. So, checking news, events, influencers, public figures, that's a big reason for using Instagram. But then, third, I put doom scrolling here. Another word that people use is brain rot, which is it has become, or I should say, Instagram has become the go to app for a lot of adults who if there's nothing happening at that moment and they open their phone, they check their phone, that is the first app they go to and they just start scrolling. It's mindless, doesn't do much in terms of stimulating the brain, and it's becoming kind of almost a cliche of what people are doing these days. Like people are scrolling when they're walking on the street. They're doing it when they're driving their car, when they're in the bathroom. You're doing all these things that you were when you shouldn't be looking on your phone that you are. And Facebook is the number one culprit of that. From a business point of view, um, all of that is all well and good, but there are a lot of positives in terms of how it's used. So, first, let's look at the last one first. Facebook, we went left to right. We're going to go right to left here. Um, so, Facebook is bigger than Instagram in terms of total users. There's no question about it. 3 billion people. However, we are approaching the point where Instagram may overtake it in the near future. In their Instagram users are more engaged. They log on more often. They're there for a longer period of time, and there are some analysts out there who are giving Instagram the crown for largest social network on earth. I don't think we're there quite yet, but from a business perspective, I would argue it's pretty much even. Um, there's just a you just get people for more time on Instagram. Now, what's contributing to this? There's obviously the Gen Zs and millennials who are spending a ton of time, but you see other um, generations are seeing increased usage as well. People are logging on multiple times a day for long periods of time. And we are now at the point where this is the largest creator network outside of YouTube. I don't think YouTube is ever going to be caught. I don't think anything is ever going to catch YouTube in terms of just straight usage, video views, uploads. YouTube and video marketing overall will get its own time in the sun here in the next lesson. But for now, if you put YouTube aside, Instagram is number one in terms of creator networks. There was even a Snapchat ad campaign when Snapchat was trying to go blow for blow with Instagram, that Snapchat called themselves the place for you to engage with your friends, because the idea behind that statement was Instagram has too many influencers. There's too many people who are on Instagram for an entrepreneurial purpose. Not, it's very, it could be very superficial. It's very just, to monetize. It's not meant to, people are there purposely, not for their friends, but to amass followers. So it's an interesting point to kind of like look at it, but there are still a ton of people on Instagram that just scroll that aren't even actively posting. And if they do post, it's not super lengthy. It's not much. So the last thing we have an Instagram post in the Instagram bio here, and I'm just going to go ahead and knock these two out together. So here's a company post. This is from a couple of years ago that I found. I thought was a good one. There's 4 elements to an Instagram post. There's the creative, that's either the photo or the video. There's the caption, which is the description where you can see what this company did. There's the branding, which is the logo. Maybe you have it in your image or photo, but it's like a profile picture. Then you have the engagements, comments, likes, shares. That's an important part of the post. We're going to look at these a little bit more in detail in a moment, but you'll notice here it's really about the way that the post is laid out. The creative itself is just one part. The photo, the reel, the video part. That's one of 4 elements that are contributing to the success of a post. Now, if you look at an Instagram bio, on the other hand, this is an interesting thing here, because for Instagram, for businesses on Instagram, you have a lot of options, right? I'll get to the slide in a couple of, in two slides, I think. I look at the differences between Instagram personal profiles and Instagram for business. In the bio, if you are a business, you have these options. You get the major vanity metrics, your number of posts, your followers, and people following. That's standard. You get the profile picture, also standard. Chipotle puts this logo. But then you're going to get a little, this is where we get a little interesting. You have a business category. So Chipotle picked restaurant. You get a very short one-line description. They wrote, feeling a little extra lately. And then you get a link. Personal profiles can also put a link in here. And you get one link to use. They just put chipotle.com. Some people put link trees, which is a link to a one-page site where you put other links. So it's, a link tree. It starts a tree of other links. And then if there's a Threads account, you may have recall I mentioned Threads a couple videos ago. That is the newest piece that goes right in between the username, or the title, I should say, and the category. Sometimes the username is different than the actual name, different than the title. So, a lot of times you see this with personal people, you see the actual name here, their actual name here, and the username is up top. Then you can see Chipotle is also verified here. That is a Meta verification. That is not just an Instagram verification. Important distinction. And so really that's kind of like setting the scene for Instagram here. Profile views is a number that can be tracked. And the way that I look at it, we have, Instagram has done a lot of work lately to cater to the business community and to creators. You have 3 different accounts now. You have a personal Instagram account, which we know about. You can have a creator account, which is the personal account with some extra fluff. And then you get business accounts. We're going to look at the differences between some of these here in the next video, and also some of the different creative formats. Because if there's one thing that is really interesting with Instagram, it's that this has been the place where Meta has been able to take content formats that originated on other platforms and really took it and made them their own. So we'll get into this a little bit more later in the next video. For now, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.